I'm basically looking for a company which would give me a learning opportunity.
In college, you learn a lot about HR, different facets of HR. I want to see whether we can actually implement that on the job.
I want to know as in what are my roles and responsibilities. It should be very much clearly laid down before.
How much I'm going to learn in that organization.
When I say work culture, I mean the kind of people I have. I mean, is it like a steep hierarchy or is it a flat hierarchy?
And how much I can use my creativity in.
The work environment, I want it to be very informal.
For the next 3 to 4 years, what would I be?
I joined Bajaj Allianz right from the day one at about April 2001, and I remember when we came to Pune, we didn't have an office, we didn't have houses, and about 16 of us in 4-5 acres we moved from Bombay to Pune, stayed in a hotel. And in April, May, when we were thinking of starting a company, all we had at that time was about 20 pages of a business plan and things that one day would make this company truly a great company. I'm not saying that we are a great company yet, but we definitely are on the path to being a great company in future. Compared to any other industry, whether you look at IT, you look at entertainment or telecom, in terms of our growth rate, in terms of our returns to the shareholders, we would emerge as one of the best companies. Whenever a calamity happens, it is typically the general insurance industry which comes to the rescue of people in the industry and bring it back to normalcy. So in terms of our contribution to the economy of any country, that is also typically great. Bajaj Allianz is amongst, in terms of volume of the business which we handle and the complexity, Bajaj Allianz would be amongst the top 20 insurance companies in the Allianz group.
When I joined Bajaj Allianz in 2003, we were about, if you see my employee number, we were 372 people in the company. And in 2 years, we are 1600 now. There has been a tremendous growth. In fact, Bajaj Allianz as a company, when you go to any of the world conferences in Allianz, India is given as an example of how much a company has grown.
Last year, Bajaj Allianz was made the center of excellence for IT in the Allianz world.
Working with a group like Allianz, which is represented in 70 countries around the world with more than 700 companies, means you have an enormous exposure to how your business, which you want to get involved in, is done around the world, and an enormous insight into the way it's currently done, the state of the art.
Today we follow, even though we are not a software company, but an internal in-house division which has a captive customers of Allianz and the local operating entity. We follow the CMMI level 3 quality processes in software development. So the entire life cycle is covered by the quality process. The biggest and the most interesting aspect which I personally like here is the freedom that I get, the operating freedom that I get. I mean, people don't, at least my boss does not detail out what he wants me to do. He sets a broad vision in terms of where he expects me to be, or what he expects out of this division, and I have tremendous freedom to implement that the way I would want it to happen.
Bajaj Allianz allows you to innovate and experiment with things. Nobody here is penalized for experimenting. And here we have a straight alignment with strategy and communication. We have a strategy, yes, but we also communicate it down the line so that everyone is able to achieve what they want. It's a company of dreamers. You can dream and you're allowed to fulfill the dream that you have.
I think it's a great place to be. One of the biggest things about this company, the best things about this company is the freedom that you get to work. It gives you the opportunity to tread new paths, to do new things, absolutely. And one of the Best things is that we believe we are pioneers, we want to innovate, and therefore we also have a very large appetite to see new things happen if a couple of things fail and a lot of things succeed.
So the thing that I feel right now is how this company allows every employee to kind of express and experiment with certain new initiatives, which is actually true about me.
We give them freedom, we let them do what they want. You don't have micromanagement in our company. It's very broad guidelines which are given, and obviously we have processes and procedures which we expect people to follow, but within those guidelines there's a lot of freedom. And for me personally, I think that's one of the biggest qualities that I would look for in a job. And I've been here in this company for 4.5 years now, from the day that it started. And personally, it's been a great journey for me. I've developed as an individual, as a professional, and I've learned lots. And today, if I stand back and think of what is it that really keeps me going, is the fact that there are challenges every day. We're a young company, we're an exciting company, we're growing at a fast pace. So there's always opportunities for people to grow.
I started my career with Bajaj Allianz exactly 2 years back from this office in itself, where I came for my interview. Youngster just out of the college and shivering how to take care of a GD and an interview. And from there, being a part of Bajaj Allianz, there has not been any stopping. Started as a management trainee in an office like Hyderabad, where there was a team strength of 80. But thanks to the management support, the guidance, the training I got from Bajaj Allianz, that in a year's time I got an opportunity to head an operations at Goa.
The point is, we're willing to take risks, we're willing to experiment, and we're willing to give opportunities to people who have the passion and who have the drive to do something. So that's all that we expect from people, just performance, nothing else.
Because if you do well, you're bound to get recognized. So if I talk of my personal growth, from a management trainee, I became a branch head when I was the youngest branch head in my company. We had 45 offices, I was the youngest kid on the block.
We offer opportunities to a wide range of professionals. People have this misconception that it's an insurance company, so they don't really know what kind of opportunities are available with us. You'd be surprised, we offer opportunities to CAs, to doctors, to lawyers, to undergraduates, to IT professionals, to HR professionals.
I really wanted to start with something which was very challenging, and I thought insurance was one such option. I had certain other options available to me within the financial sector as well as outside. But then I thought it made sense to start with something which was more of a sunrise sector, as they call it.
What really amazes me about this industry is typically the variety of work which you do in this industry.
It's a lot of interaction between different industries. Like I have to understand how a jeweller's market works, how an FMCG typically works, how an export company works. Because you have to provide them customized products, you need to understand how they think.
I choose insurance in the financial services sector because what I feel is a sector for growth. In India, the penetration for general insurance is pretty low at the moment, so there is lots of scope here. You see the banking sector or other financial services, market is pretty saturated. So what I feel is general insurance, there is definitely a lot of scope left here.
The general mass is still left without an insurance. We have 44% of the population living above the poverty line who do not have a cover even today. So the market is huge for us.
Basically, when I was interested in general insurance as a career, I was looking out for various options, and I always wanted to be with the best company because obviously you get a good experience. The training that you get with a company which is doing well is definitely better than any other company. And I'm glad that I am with Bajaj Allianz today.
I joined as a management trainee. So despite the fact they took me in the HR department, the company thought it was necessary for me to learn about all other aspects of insurance as well. So I was made to circulate, in the technical department, underwriting, in the marketing department, corporate communication, so that I get a feel of what the company is, what the business is all about, before I was finally given the responsibility of HR.
Last year I was nominated by our CEO to the Allianz Management Associate Program, which is run by Allianz Singapore, and it calls for all middle-level lateral management executives who are actually doing well and who can be groomed into future leaders for Allianz.
That's something that we're constantly trying to do, as make every employee's day-to-day existence in Bajaj Allianz a beautiful experience per se. Like, he comes here, he enjoys, and he doesn't want to go back home.
I think my experience has been really great. I can, in simple terms, say that it's like a rocket going up, you know. A rocket which goes up and leaves a mark behind. You know, it has, you know, molded me in a very amazing way. I mean, from an introvert to an extrovert, improve my interaction skills. You know, I can go freely into anybody's cabin and ask something, very open communication. So I think that it has really groomed me into something which I really wanted to be.